All through the summer of 1929, there had been ominous rumblings. For months, unemployment had been rising. Automobile sales and department store revenues had fallen off sharply. Across the South and West, farms were failing in record numbers. And still on Wall Street, the delirious optimism continued, undimmed.
As this continues to develop with the energy and food inflation and the distress in the financial and housing sector, is there anything comparable that you can point to in recent or distant history?
Well, I can point to pieces of it in a lot of places, but having them all at once, the way we have now, really goes back to the Great Depression in terms of having a broad spread effect.
As summer turned to fall, the mood changed. As the stock market dipped, then rose, then lurched downwards again, investors grew increasingly uneasy. In September, an economist named Roger Babson sent a wave of fear rippling through Wall Street when he warned that sooner or later a crash is coming, and it may be terrific.
If we don't deal with this now, soon little Gamble here won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma.
This is the reality of the crisis in the U.S. economy. People who used to own their own homes are living hand to mouth on land once occupied by those less fortunate. In the last month, some 60,000 houses were repossessed, their occupants forced out when they could no longer meet ever-increasing mortgage payments. Now they shower at a local church and get by on handouts.
But most experts brushed away any concerns. Stock prices, one man declared, have reached what looks like a permanently high plateau. And then the bottom fell out. On Wednesday, October 23rd, 1929, the first waves of panicky selling began to drive down the price of blue-chip stocks, like Westinghouse and General Electric.
Your enemy is not surrounding your country. Your enemy is ruling your country.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
This is an impressive crowd, the haves and the have-mores. Some people call you the elite. I call you my base.
You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion. And in return, the per capita income of each of you here tonight has grown, and this year alone, by an average 39%.
But the burdens of global citizenship continue to bind us together. A change of leadership in Washington will not lift this burden. In this new century, Americans and Europeans alike will be required to do more, not less. Partnership and cooperation among nations is not a choice. It is the only way, the one way, to protect our common security and advance our common humanity.
Robert, why were we not told about this meeting and that the senator wouldn't be on our flight until the doors were shut and we were about to taxi to take off?
Again, we had a desire, Senator Obama had a desire to do some meetings. Others had a desire to meet with him tonight in a private way, and that's what we're doing.
They arrive in bulletproof SUVs and limos under very tight security and no media allowed.
I need you to get off the property. Okay, I really do. Thank you. Can you tell us? I need you just to follow me straight off the property.
He refused to confirm the presence of European royalty such as Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands and corporate moguls, financier David Rockefeller for one, and Republican power brokers Henry Kissinger and New York Governor George Pataki.
Just need you to stand right here. Remain off the property.
130 of the world's most influential personalities are here at this annual gathering. They say the ultra-secret meetings encourage freewheeling discussions on global events, but they won't disclose their conclusions.
So that's not enough.
This kind of secrecy propagates conspiracy theories.
Have you heard about this new thing going on in Great Britain that Al-Qaeda routing up all these Britons, essentially, 1,400 strong, apparently, in a new, what's being called a new white Al-Qaeda army. Tougher to detect, potentially.
Yeah, because they're not Muslims. They look just like regular British people.
They're converts.
Go ahead.
On another subject. We have a very great problem in this country today, and I wonder if you would use your leadership to counteract the rumors, the rumor mongers that are abroad in the land who are creating all these rumors and scaring people to death. Large segments of our citizens believe that the United Nations is taking over whole blocks of counties in Kentucky and Tennessee, and some of them, they believe that we are going to the concentration camp and they're going to give our army to Russia and all that baloney.
The issue is we live in an interdependent world. We have to cooperate with people. We're better off when we do. We're better off with NATO. We're better off with the United Nations. We're better off when these countries can work together. So I just think for folks that are worried about this out in the country, they need to be thinking about how we're not going to give up our freedom or our independence, but we're not going to go it alone into the 21st century either. We're going to work together, and we have to.
Outside on the street, crowds massed 6 deep in front of the stock exchange, while hundreds more stood in shocked silence on the steps of Federal Hall. Newspapers would later try to describe the uncanny murmuring sound that echoed off the stone facades of the financial district that morning. It was a collective moan of horror and grief and stunned disbelief, rising up from thousands of ruined, frightened men.
Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Looters grabbed everything from food to major appliances.
Because you need it, or you?
Yeah, I mean, when we had no means to wash clothes, we had no food, sure.
A lot of the people here say they don't feel bad taking the stuff. One, because they need it. But two, they said the police said it was okay. And we actually saw the police. They're in aisle 3.
All I'm doing. How you doing?
Hi, what you doing here?
I'm doing my job.
Taking shoes?
No, looking for looters.
Some motorists were dragged from cars and beaten. Arson fires were set throughout the city. These shopkeepers armed themselves and fought back. The violence continued until 4,500 National Guard and Marine troops arrived and restored order.
Germany has condemned as absolutely unacceptable a German army training video that shows soldiers pretending to fire at African Americans living in New York's Bronx district. A statement from the German Defense Ministry seems to fall short of the apology that New York officials and residents had wanted.
You who are here today are observing an absolutely historic event. The soldiers that you see before you represent not the past, but rather the future. It is through exercises such as this that truly we can create a new world order.
You're free, and freedom is beautiful. And, you know, it'll take time to restore chaos.
Oh, and you know the thing about chaos? It's here.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
This is the end for you, my master.